If you have ADHD and you're deciding what kind of schedule do I want for my job when I'm working or have a job, have you ever heard of a flex schedule? Because I think this might be one of the best schedules for anyone with ADHD. Hi, my name is Kevin. This is the Rewired Fitness Podcast. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. This is 10 advantages of a flex schedule when you have ADHD. Start out number 10. The first one is going to be that you get to choose your own schedule. This is amazing for anyone with ADHD, right? Because of the fact that, hey, I can't be late now. That can be amazing because you're already running late and you always are like, hey, I got to get there, and then you get there late. Then that can be bad because when you are being late to a job and your employer sees you're being late all the time, then they might be like, hey, you're late all the time. But with your own schedule, you can just have your own schedule. Hey, you get up a little bit late, that's fine. Still get in the office, right? The cool thing about this is when you have a completely flexible schedule, you get to choose when you work, when you don't work, when you start, when you finish. The only thing that you have to do is make sure that you meet your 40 hours during the week. So this can be one of the things that can be beneficial if you have ADHD. But you still have to make sure that you meet that 40 hours. But as long as you do that and you're productive and doing everything that you need to do, then the employer is happy and they're giving you the flexibility to choose the best times that you work, the best times that you are most productive, that you can do your work and finish your work and get the job done. The other part that they kind of use or may have is going to be compressed work week, which instead of working 8-hour days, 5 days a week, you can work 10-hour days, 4 days a week usually. And this is great too because you have a 3-day weekend all the time. Every weekend is a 3-day weekend if you get Friday or Monday off. And so I think this can be amazing too because now you have a 3-day weekend every week. And sometimes it's just like maybe you need a day different than that weekend because something comes up in the middle of that week, right? And even though your flex schedule day is normally a Friday or a Monday, you can go and say, hey, I really need this day off instead because of this specific thing that needs to happen. And generally, as long as there is coverage for those days, then they'll let you switch the day for that week and then go back to your regular day the next week. So that can be amazing as well. So these are two types of flex schedules that I know of that will be beneficial to people with ADHD. And I think they could be really amazing because now you have flexibility, you can be creative with your schedule, and you can choose the best times that you are the most productive. Number 9, you get to decide when you want to start and stop. And this could be amazing for someone with ADHD. Why? Because of the fact that you get to choose when you start and stop a project that you're working on during the day, when you start and stop an assignment, when you want to have a meeting if you have one, and what's going to be the best time for that meeting. And when you get out of that meeting, what do you want to do? Do you want to take a break or do you want to still work on some other stuff? You get to decide all of that, which is great because of the fact that you may need those extra breaks during the day. You may say, hey, I can only really work and concentrate for a 25 minute, maybe 30 at tops, and I need a break after that, even a 5-minute break just to refresh myself. And so if you need that break, you can take that when you have a flexible schedule. You can say, hey, I just need this 5-minute break to mentally go ahead and refresh myself for this project or this thing that I'm working on because it's really mentally challenging right now and I'm really mentally drained right now. And so it allows you to put those breaks within your schedule and figure out where you want them during the day. And then you can just take them, right? You have your flexible schedule. You can do what you want to do as long as you finish the work. As long as you still make your hours, you can take breaks. You can choose when you want to start and stop something. You don't have to worry about, a manager coming over and say, hey, you need to do this from this time to this time. And you just getting mentally drained from that point. You're 2 hours in, you're mentally drained and you really need a break, but you can't because your break has not come up yet. And so with the flexible schedule, you can do that. You can take extra breaks. You can take some extra time and really take time to refresh and then come back and approach it with a new angle or approach it with new energy and then dive into it again. I think this is one of the best benefits of a flexible schedule. Moving on, number 8. I know I said this already, but you get to decide when you take your breaks. This can be one of the most important things for someone with ADHD because now you're not on scheduled breaks. You get to decide when you take those breaks, how long those breaks are, how long you need for a break. You may say, hey, I really need 30 minutes because I'm really just overwhelmed right now. Or you can say, hey, I only need 5 minutes. I'm going to go do this and come right back and be able to finish my work. So that is the difference between just a regular job where you're working and you say, hey, you only get a break at this time. But instead, you get to choose when your breaks are, which can be one of the best things ever. And you get to go and choose not only when your breaks are, but you get to go and choose and say, hey, I just need to go do this for a minute and then come back and be refreshed. And you get to kind of have this mental break from whatever you're doing, which can be one of the best things to make sure that you're still being productive. Because if you have gotten to the point where you are just like, I'm mentally done right now, mentally exhausted, mentally overwhelmed, I just need a break, just need 5 minutes. Well, when you schedule your own breaks, you can take that 5 minutes and then come back and say, okay, I'm okay now. Let's get back into this. But if you don't schedule your breaks and you have someone else scheduling your breaks, they never know when you actually need a mental break. And you can't take that mental break, I guess is what you call it, when you want to. You just have to wait. Number 7, you get to choose the environment you work in daily, like your surroundings. And this can be a great benefit because of the fact that you may just be like, hey, I'm in the office. I look outside. It's so nice outside. I want to enjoy the sunshine. Well, if you have a flexible schedule, then you can say, hey, I'm just going to go and move and work in a coffee shop for a day. Or I just want to go out to a bench and work on a bench outside for a day or whatever, right? You can do that when you have a flexible schedule. You can just say, hey, I'm in the office right now, but I'm going to be out in the office at this time, and I'm going to go do my work at this place or whatever. And if you need me, just call me and send me an email. And you're able to work with freedom where you want to work, where you can be the most productive. If the most productive thing is, hey, I'm not really super productive in an office, but let me go to a coffee shop and stay there all day, I'm more productive there, then great. As long as you are completing your work, making your 40 hours, making sure that everything is done on time, they don't really care at that point. It's just a matter of, hey, you make sure that your stuff is done, and that's all we care about. And you're good. So you get to choose where you want to work, what your surroundings are for that day. If you want to change your location for that day and just go and sit somewhere else or go somewhere else to work, then that is fine as well. And that can be one of the best benefits, best advantages of a flexible work schedule. Number 6, you're not micromanaged, which is great because micromanagement is awful. It's like every time that you do something, every little thing you do, you get a check mark or a demerit as a manager just kind of hovers over you all the time. And it's just not fun. It just stresses you out because you're like, okay, every little thing I do, I'm going to get a check mark or a demerit for. And I don't want to gain demerits. I want to get all check marks, but I'm just really stressed out because I don't know when they're going to give me one and what kind they're going to give me. Instead, they're saying, hey, you know what? You do you. As long as you get your work done, as long as you meet your 40 hours during the week, we're good. Do your own schedule. Make sure your work's done. That's all they really care about. You have the freedom. You're not stressed out about, hey, are they going to give me a check mark, demerit? Are they going to look at everything I do? Are they going to be scrutinizing every little thing I do? You basically are running your own kind of position, right? Just like you would run your own business, you are doing the same thing. You are deciding when you want to do things, how you want to do things, what works best for you, and how you want to get your work done, as well as complete the time requirements of the job. So with a flexible schedule, you don't have to worry about micromanagement, and that is one of the best things about it. Number 5, you still have deadlines. Deadlines are great for ADHD. Why is this a benefit? Because of the fact that you have a flexible schedule where you get to choose your own schedule, get to make your own schedule, but never have a deadline. You may never see something as super important. It's not entering your right now kind of view, right? With ADHD, you live in the right now and the not right now kind of view, and you need to have things in the right now kind of view. So, with a deadline set, it allows you, as you get closer to that deadline, to say, oh, wow, this is now my right now view. I better get cracking. Now, the other thing is when you have deadlines, you want to set many deadlines. I've said this before, set many deadlines so that you can really work towards your major deadline. And so you get your work done by meeting your many deadlines. So that's another way. Having a deadline at a job where it's completely flexible in how you work and when you work and what you do is really good because it is a constraint and it helps to stay on schedule, helps for organization, helps with prioritization when you have ADHD. Moving on, number 4, there's less stress when you have a flexible work schedule. The great thing about it, you get to choose when you work, how you work, what you want to work on, how long you work during each day. You get to schedule everything. And so you get to schedule it to where your productivity is the best. You know, hey, I work best at this time during these days. I work best at this time during this day. I really want to schedule all my meetings at this time on these certain days. You get to choose all of that. And so because of that, you're going to be less stressed because now you have a schedule that is comfortable. You have a schedule that is flexible. You still have to get your work done. You still have to turn in stuff on time, but you get to choose the times and when you work on stuff and when you get stuff done. And so overall, that should decrease your stress level because now you don't have the things of, hey, you have to be in the office at this time, you be out of the office at this time, you have to take lunch at this time, you have to take lunch at this, breaks at this time, whatever, right? You get to choose all those things. And that can be really good for decreasing your stress level. If you want to go out and eat somewhere else and go out and work at, a coffee shop or whatever, that's going to also decrease your stress level because now you're in an environment that you're more comfortable in. So less stress, definitely with a flexible work environment. Number 3, more freedom. When you have a flexible work schedule, you just have more freedom overall because of the fact you get to choose when you work, how you work, where you work. If you want to work in a coffee shop, that's great. Go ahead and do that. If you want to work outside, that's great. Go ahead and do that. If you have an appointment you have to get to, then you can schedule that and you know that you can definitely make it. If you're going on vacation, have to be gone by a certain time, then you're able to do that. You're able to say, hey, I got to be gone on Friday by this time. You just schedule that. So you have more freedom overall throughout everything that you want to do. It just gives you more freedom. It just gives you the ability to not be in such of a box in your time that you have to work. You can just be outside the box, be creative with your time. As long as you're getting your work done, that's all that matters. So I just think it's amazing to be able to have a flexible work schedule, and that will definitely give you more freedom of your day, more freedom to do what you want, more freedom to schedule things when you want, more freedom to be productive overall or more productive overall. Moving on, number 2, telecommuting. Telecommuting can be amazing because of the fact when you telecommute, when you're able to just work from home if you want to, just have a laptop, go wherever you want to go, work wherever you want to work, telecommuting can be great because of the fact that now you have flexibility of what you do, where you work, but you also have the flexibility as long as you have your laptop, you're good to do whatever you need to do. And that can be one of the best things. I know people have now started working more from home, and so telecommuting has been more of a common thing now. But when you have a flexible work schedule, it's always more of a possibility that you're going to be telecommuting quite a bit because of the fact that, hey, you have a flexible work schedule. You can schedule things when you want to do them. You can schedule things as to what's going to be most productive for you. So that generally means you're going to have a laptop that you take with you all of the time to complete your work. And so now you say, well, I want to be out of the office of this day, but I am going to log in and complete this assignment and this work assignment and whatever else, right? So you're going to be telecommuting. Telecommuting just gives you the ability, again, to be just more free with your schedule, more free where you work, how you work, what you do. And that can be really beneficial to employees, really beneficial to people with ADHD, because they get to choose so many aspects of what they do during their day and still be able to be the most productive that they can. So I think telecommuting can be really good. And if you find a job that lets you telecommute, maybe look into it and see if it's something that you like to do, because it does allow you to have a more flexible work schedule as well. Moving on, number 1, work-life balance. That is what this is all about. That's what a flexible schedule is all about. It's about being able to have work-life balance, a better work-life balance than what you have right now. Because of the fact right now you might be in a job where you just don't have any work-life balance, where everything that you do is scrutinized. You can't get days off. You're trying to get days off. You have an appointment that you need to go to, but you can't because your work says, nope, you can't. You have to work this time on these days and whatever. When you have a flexible work schedule, it allows you to have better work-life balance, because now you can do all the things you need to do and get them all done, and also get your work done as well. So it does increase work-life balance dramatically. And a lot of times when you increase work-life balance, employees are more productive, employees are happier, and it allows them to take on all the things that they have in their lives and do that at the best of their ability, as well as be the most productive when they're at their place of work as well. So work-life balance is really important, and a flexible work schedule allows you to do that. It allows you to have great work-life balance. Okay, that is everything that I wanted to go over today. That is all the different things about a flexible work schedule that may be good, that can be good when you have ADHD. And I thought it was important to go over because of the fact that if you're looking for a job now, or if you have a job now, what kind of schedule do you think would be good for you? After hearing all this, do you think a flex schedule would be good for you as well? All right, let me know in the comments. Have a great and wonderful and awesome day. Also, if you like this content, go and click the subscribe button for me, whether you're on YouTube or listen on a podcast app. If you're on YouTube, ring the notification bell and leave a like and a comment. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.